Meet the Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh's daughter. Despite her royal lineage, Lady Louise demonstrates a grounded and independent spirit that sets her apart from a typical perception of royalty. At a mere 20 years of age, Lady Louise Windsor is the youngest granddaughter of the late Queen Elizabeth. She's not a princess from birth because of her father, who wanted to protect her from a life exposed to public scrutiny. However, she had the right to use that royal title, and when she turned 18, she could decide for herself whether to become a princess or, as she chose, remain a discreet lady. Louise had all her older cousins ahead of her, and a very discreet life at the British court was predicted for her. But the escape of Prince Harry and the loss of honors of Prince Andrew, with the consequent absences in family events of Meghan Markle and the Princesses Beatrice and Eugenie of York, have brought this lady closer to King Charles III in the family photo. After her invite to join her family on the balcony at this year's Trooping the Colour, things may be changing. And at her most recent engagement, she was seen with a new male friend by her side. Could a new romance be blossoming for the 20-year-old? Here's what we know so far. On June 28, 2024, Lady Louise and Felix de Silva Clamp attended the Sandringham horse driving trials together in Norfolk, where they were photographed smiling and seeming to be enjoying themselves. Louise took part in the event, and Felix joined her by hopping on the back of her carriage. An onlooker said the pair seemed very comfortable together. They were chatting and looking at each other all the way around. They went for a couple of walks together in between her two events as well. They were clearly very close. The young man was driven to the event by Sophie, Duchess of Edinburgh, and the onlookers said that Felix and the Duchess looked very at ease with each other. They added that they turned up in the car just 10 minutes before Louise's first event and watched her eagerly. While there has been no confirmation of a relationship between the two, Felix and Sophie's comfortability around each other could allude to his close bond with Louise. Felix is a student at St. Andrews University in Scotland, where Louise also studies English literature. It's understood the pair first met at the school, and images of them together at a party have been shared on social media. The pair reportedly first bonded over a shared interest in amateur dramatics and appeared together in a production called Dragon Fever earlier this year, which was shown at the university's Bayer Theatre. The play was described as an ambitious cross between an Agatha Christie mystery and a Tolkien's The Hobbit. And Lady Louise portrayed the powerful and cynical witch, Nelvana, while Felix appeared as Mr. Owl. Whilst the pair met at St. Andrews, Felix has ties to Australia thanks to his earlier education, as he attended Melbourne Grammar School. He now works part-time as a gelato artist at Janetta's Gelateria at the university. St. Andrews is also the same university where William and Catherine, the Prince and Princess of Wales relationship, first began in the early 2000s. Could another royal love story be unfolding on the premises? Every year, Lady Louise's participation in this year's Sandringham trials comes just a month after she accompanied her parents, the Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh, to London's iconic Trooping the Colour parade, marking their official birthday celebrations of the British monarch. The young royal has increasingly taken on a more prominent public role in recent years, often appearing alongside senior members of the royal family at significant and ceremonial events, born in 2023 as the daughter of Prince Edward, Earl of Wessex, and Sophie, Countess of Wessex. Lady Louise was raised largely out of the spotlight, in comparison to some of her higher-profile royal cousins. However, as she's grown older, the introverted and studious young woman has gradually emerged from the shadows, demonstrating a quiet pose and confidence that has ended her to royal watchers. While she may never seek the blinding glare of the spotlight, the young royal's steadfast dedication to her interest and her supportive network of family and friends suggests that she is more than ready to step into a more prominent role as a senior member of the royal family in the years to come. Recently, she caught the attention of onlookers while she was seen driving a second-hand Volkswagen Polo, a car she had saved up for herself, working at the local garden center. She earned a modest wage of £6, 83 pence per hour. She took on various responsibilities, including operating the tills, greeting customers, and tending to the plants. Witnesses described her as polite, attentive, and thoroughly enjoying her job. The decision to take up a summer job was entirely her own, and her mother Sophie, the Duchess of Edinburgh, fully supported it. Louise was born 1 month prematurely on November 8, 2003, at Frimley Park Hospital in Surrey, England. She is the eldest child of Prince Edward, the Duke of Edinburgh, and Sophie, the Duchess of Edinburgh. Growing up, Louise and her younger brother James, Earl of Wessex, were known to keep a low profile. Their parents attempted to keep their lives as normal as possible. When Prince Edward and Sophie were married, he requested the styling of an earl, not a duke. With this in mind, it was decided that, unlike her cousin, Prince William, Prince Harry, Princess Eugenie, and Princess Beatrice, who all come from male-line grandchildren of a monarch, a princely status and the royal title of Highness would not be given to Louise and her brother. However, now that Louise is over the age of 18 and her parents' titles have changed, she has the autonomy to choose whether she goes by Princess Louise. She has not chosen to do so, and according to her mother, it is highly unlikely that she will. While it seems the list has expanded in 2024, Lady Louise Windsor is not currently an official working royal. According to the official royal website's line of succession, Louise is 16th in line for the throne. So the chances of her needing to step into the spotlight are slim, and that's why when speculation was running rampant about which royals would attend the 2024 Trooping the Colour, onlookers were shocked to see Louise. The young royal was placed on the balcony next to her parents, filling the role of junior royal. Louise confirmed in 2022 that she would attend St. Andrew's University, the same place her cousin, Prince William, met his future wife, Princess Catherine. She is currently in her second year at the university, studying English literature. And while studying is important, it's understood that in her spare time, Sophie enjoys carriage riding and skiing. Lady Louise is known to be a lover of carriage driving. She is often seen participating in competitions, a hobby she inherited from her grandfather, Prince Philip of Edinburgh. Until she went to university, Lady Louise lived with her parents at Bagshot Park, just a few kilometers from Windsor Castle. less than 5 minutes from that school, was the private, all-girls boarding school where she studied, St. Mary's School, Ascot. Sophie and Edward have been determined to give their children a relatively normal upbringing. They attended regular schools, enjoy sleepovers and parties with friends, and engage in ordinary family activities, such as dog walking and spending time with loved ones. But despite how calm that life may seem, Lady Louise did not have a childhood without scares. Her mother went into premature labor after suffering a placental abruption, which necessitated an emergency C-section. Her life was in danger due to the amount of blood she lost, and Lady Louise remained hospitalized during her first 3 weeks of life. With time, she was diagnosed with extropia, an ocular disorder known as divergent strabismus, characterized by the deviation of the eyes outward. She underwent surgery twice, unsuccessfully at the ages of 3 and 5, until she underwent a third operation at the age of 9, which finally cured her condition, although at times she still appears to have strabismus. Despite the challenging experiences, Sophie's strength and reliability have made her an admirable royal family member in terms of fashion. Lady Louise stands for her down-to-earth approach, while some royal family members often wear pricey designer outfits. She frequently opts out of high street brands and has been spotted in dresses from Rice and Reformation. She occasionally borrows stylish pieces from her mother's wardrobe, adding her unique touch to the outfits. The family is also actively involved in volunteering and participating in community events. They were captured, helping with the Great Beach Clean in South Sea, showcasing their willingness to get involved and make a positive impact. Despite their privileged background, the family enjoys low-key vacations and cherishes their time together at Balmoral. Still ascending to the throne last autumn, King Charles has bestowed several important roles and titles upon his fellow royals, but his niece, Lady Louise Windsor, was not one of them. Louise's parents and younger brother James received a change in rank following the throne relay of Charles III. Edward and Sophia were appointed Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh, while the youngest in the family now held the title of Earl of Wessex, which had previously given the family its name. At the moment, it's unknown if Louise will dedicate her life to carrying out official representation duties, but it is clear that she will not inherit any titles, as the discriminatory law that gives preference to men for inheritance is still in force in the UK. Louise is 16th in line to the British throne, just ahead of her aunt, Princess Anne, for whom the distance from the throne has never prevented her from being a valuable asset to the Windsors, and one of the hardest-working royal members in the family. However, there's a sign Lady Louise won't have been disappointed by missing out on a title change of her own. This is because she actively seems to have chosen not to embrace another title change that she could have had back in 2021. Lady Louise turned 18 on the 8th of November 2021, and many might have speculated about how this milestone might have influenced her title, in light of her mother, Duchess Sophie's comments. The Duchess of Edinburgh had explained that both of her children technically had HRH titles, and would get to decide whether to use them when they reached the age of 18. We try to bring them up with the understanding that they're very likely to have to work for a living, she explained at the time. Hence, we made the decision not to use HRH titles. They have them, and they can decide to use them from 18, but I think it's highly unlikely. At least as far as Lady Louise is concerned, Duchess Sophie's prediction seems to have come true. In the years since she turned 18, there's been nothing to suggest a change in Lady Louise's title or styling. As one of the late Queen Elizabeth's grandchildren via a son, Lady Louise was always entitled to be called Princess Louise. Letters patent issued in 1917, which still remain in force today, state that a princely status and the style of Royal Highness is assigned to make all male-line grandchildren of the monarch. However, when the Earl and Countess of Wessex married, it was announced by Buckingham Palace that their future children would be styled as the children of an earl instead. But could she really become a princess if she decided to in the future? It seems unlikely, as King Charles has long wanted a slimmed-down monarchy. Furthermore, the Dukedom of Edinburgh, created for Prince Edward, is for his lifetime only, and it won't be passed on. And Lady Louise, who has been widely praised for her calm confidence in public events that she has taken on, already seems self-assured enough to know the path she wants to follow in life. It's been quite a week for title talk, and, of course, it remains an intriguing part of royal life. But ultimately, there's always a person involved, and their own attitude is important as the so-called historic attributes that come with it. In the 21st century, the princess who might have been but chose not to be is a strong indication of how the monarchy will evolve.